So guys, welcome back to the channel. And if you're looking at this, I actually recently purchased the JLab Go Pop ANCs for a whopping $30. Now, this is the only color that they came in the particular store, but you can get different colors if you go online to actually order these. Now, 24 hours of battery life is a good thing. You're looking at 7 hours with the buds themselves, 6 hours with ANC, and a little bit less if you include talk time, but it will vary. You do have ANC in that be aware mode with these buds. On the bottom, you have the USB-C cable that's connected to the actual case itself. So for people wondering, guess what? If you break this cord right here, you will lose the ability to charge the buds and you will have to replace it altogether. So be careful. But for the most part, this works very, very well and I have no issue with it whatsoever. You do have full app support for these buds, believe it or not. They have 10mm drivers. Multi-point is a big yes for these buds. So, hey, listen, for $30 at multi-point, that is not bad at all. Of course, I said earlier, it is app compatible, which the ANC is adjustable with the slider, amongst other things, and they are IP55. So with that being said, not bad for the asking price. What comes inside the box? Honestly, it's not a charger because I just showed you the charger's connected on the bottom, but it does have different not wingtips, but these little rubber tips right here, and the sizes are medium, large, and small. Now I actually put the large on here for the ear shape, and it works perfectly fine for me. So if you do purchase these, just make sure you check the ear size to make sure which one is the most comfortable. But with that being said, very good headphones for the asking price. And let's go over some of the features so I could talk to you guys about whether they're actually worth purchasing, especially if you can find them for a little bit cheaper, because they will eventually go on sale on Amazon and probably the JLab website themselves, and you can save even more money. With that being said, let's get into the video. So syncing the buds is actually going to be very, very simple. All you have to do is open up the case, take both buds out. I'm going to give it a couple seconds for them to communicate with one another. The left and the right are going to sync to one another. And while it's doing that, you go over to your phone or tablet or whatever device that you're using, go to settings. I already have the Bluetooth set up right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit scan for you guys. And it should pop up with help. Here we go. JLab Go Pop ANC. So as soon as you tap this, you just saw it pop up on the bottom of the screen. That's like that Google fast pairing thing. But for now, we're just going to do the traditional regular Bluetooth way. And when you go ahead and hit pair, you're good to go. Now, these earbuds do have multi-point. And to be honest with you, I didn't really find the multi-point to be too good compared to other devices. But I do appreciate it still being there. But with that being said, if you follow these very simple instructions, this is how you actually sync the buds to your Bluetooth device. And lastly, I do want to say when it comes to that little pop-up down here, most Android devices, if you pop open the earbuds themselves, there's a way to actually sync it through Google, since I'm using an Android device, without actually physically going to Bluetooth. But for everyone else that's not too familiar with that, just follow the regular steps and it should work for you without an issue. So this is the actual application for the JLab Go Pop ANCs. It shows you the battery life of the actual buds up top. Of course, it does show you the battery life of the case. Unfortunately, it's not the numeral amount, so some people will find that a little bit irritating, but it's not life or death at the end of the day. You do have noise controls right here, which give you the options between noise cancellation and be aware modes. Let me explain that real fast. Be aware is like a pass-through mode, which allows you to be able to jog, go outside, run, and still be able to hear everything as if the buds weren't inside of your ear. So for the person out there, be aware is for maximum safety. Now on the opposite end, you do have noise cancellation itself. It looks like you actually have a noise cancellation slider, but if we're being completely honest here, I feel like the noise cancellation on these buds, it isn't more so cancel noise. It's more like it just pushes it to the background a little bit more. So instead of cars being directly up on you when they ride past, it may feel like the car is probably, I don't know, 2 car lengths away from you. So it does lessen the noise, but the noise cancellation isn't super powerful. Now, when it comes to the equalizer, you don't have many options right here where it says EQ 1, 2, 3, and 4. Basically what that means is when you tap these, you have your customized EQs. Well, technically they're not customized. They're presets right here. The customization one is right here for yourself, and you can actually change it however you want to. But the presets are JLab Signature, which every JLab earbud pretty much has as a default. you have the balance right here, and then you have the bass boost. Now for video purposes and music purposes, we are going to use the JLab signature. You have touch controls right here where your single taps, double taps, triple taps, and long presses. And of course, if you tap into these, you can actually change what all of these do right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap and go through these for anyone that's interested in any options right here. And for the most part, it pretty much is the same. You just get that full customization. You do have a music mode, you do have a movie mode, and when you switch between the two, you're not going to be able to hear it right now because the buds are sitting on the table, but they're inside of your ears. It is going to say either movie mode or music mode. Now, personally, I normally leave mine on music mode for everything that I do, but for that person that wants to be enveloped in a headset, you do have the option for the movie mode. Now, you do have check for update, which 9 times out of 10, if you're buying these brand new, you're probably going to have to do an update once you take them outside of the box. Only takes a few minutes, and the good thing is that whether you have the application or not, the buds will be ready to use as soon as you take them outside of the box. Now you do have a couple more things like settings right here, which don't really do much. And then you have My JLab, where you can actually have ambient sounds. It shows you how to use the guide controls and things like that. But if you follow this guide right here, the customization is short, it's sweet, it's pretty simple to use, and you shouldn't have any problems when you actually purchase these buds. And by the way, the application is 100% free, and you don't have to register your email or anything. So for the person out there that doesn't want to go through that, rejoice, you don't have to. Now, to be honest with you guys, I found these buds to be super, super comfortable inside of my ear, and they honestly haven't been slipping out with my everyday, day-to-day use. Now, if we incorporate running, jogging, being outside, going to the gym and things like that, the worst I had to do was sometimes they do slip a little bit. They never fell out of my ear, so all I had to do was just kind of take my finger and just press on it like so to make sure that it seals in the flavor and they don't move. But when you do get that sweat build up a little bit, the bud might start kind of like just dipping down a little bit. But outside of that, for the people that aren't exercising or just using them from every day, I haven't had an issue where they fell out of my ear or I felt like I had soreness inside of my ears when using them for a prolonged time. Now, keep in mind, I purposely do play music at about 70, 80, 90%, sometimes 100, just to get a feel of how good the buds feel with louder music. And I can say that I did feel a little bit irritation playing them at 100% for about a good 20, 25 minutes. I was jamming out to some Cyberpunk 2077 songs on there. I think they have real artists, so I downloaded some of the music. But outside of that, they feel great. They feel good. As you can see over here to the side, how it fits and feels inside of the ear. What I will say is that I would think that I have like about medium size ear holes right here. For people that with larger ears, this is going to be easy to use, very simple. For medium, you shouldn't have a problem. My wife does have smaller ears, and unfortunately for her, they did slip out a lot. So for the people out there that have very small ears and you're trying to find a particular bud that fits you perfectly, this may not be it. But for the whopping $30, which is pretty cheap, worst case scenario, you get them, they don't fit you, you can just take them back, depending on the policy of wherever you bought the headphones. Luckily, I got mine for $20 at a pawn shop, just $10 off of what they normally cost. So, that's pretty much it. They feel good. I don't think you'll have an issue with that, most customers. So when it comes to these buds and for music quality, they're actually really good. So there are some drawbacks though, but nothing that's really worth mentioning. But I'm just for video purposes, I want to let you guys know. So normally at about 50 to 70% is the ideal sweet spot with these buds, where the bass sounds pretty good with the signature JLab. Obviously, if you use your own equalizer, you can enhance the sound, and they sound a whole lot better outside the box with a custom equalizer. But for the people out there that isn't interested in the equalizer and just want to use them outside of the box, I still think they sound really good and, professional enough. It's not going to beat out some of the Soundcore earbuds that are a little bit more expensive. It's obviously not going to beat out AirPods or Galaxy Buds. And again, this is not meant for the person that, Galaxy Buds that's used to those type of buds, but I'd like comparing them to higher end stuff to say that you're not going to feel disappointed that you purchased it. So for example, the bass sounds really good in my opinion, especially with rock music, rap, and different genres. The vocals are very strong with these buds, believe it or not. And I do feel like they slightly overpower some of the instruments in the background, but not so much so where you can't hear everything. Everything still comes out pretty crystal clear. Now, once you go past about 70%, that's when you start noticing that the music is, I'm not sure if distorted is the right word. There is no breakage in the music, really. It's just that you can tell that the instruments or the drivers are being stretched out to capacity. So when you get to about 80%, 90%, and then 100%, which I don't really suggest anyone listening to a pair of earbuds at 100%, that could cause actual ear aches. That's what happened to me. But I did it for obviously video purposes and things like that. You notice that the bass is starting to get stretched, that it doesn't sound as deep as pronounced as before. You notice that the vocals get a whole lot stronger, but a tad bit screechier, because you can tell that it's not really meant for the earbuds to be listened to for long periods of time at 100% safely. You can do it, and it's going to sound fine, but once you turn it down, you're going to notice that the bass, the quality of the music is going to kind of go back to what you expected when you first took them outside of the box. So again, safely 70 to 80%, they sound phenomenal for that asking price. When you go up to 90 to 100, you start noticing that it's being stretched out, that the music quality is suffering a little bit. So that might be a deal breaker for some people. But for me, in a combination of the ANC, I'm normally about 80%. I caught the train with these, unfortunately, going downtown Philadelphia to actually get to my job. And it did a pretty good job of just drowning out the noise with ANC. That's pretty much what it's for. And again, for the person out there wondering, yeah, they're not bad for the asking price, $30. You can't really go wrong with it.
So for anyone wondering if you're doing any form of recording or phone calls, this is going to be the level of quality that these microphones actually have. I am currently indoors in an open area, so you might actually hear an echo, but outside of that, this is the level of quality that you're going to get for these JLab headphones. Now, for people out there looking for something a lot better, you are going to obviously need to go to a tier higher in terms of audio quality, but for the microphones, this is what you're getting for that $29.99 price tag.
So the question is, are these buds actually worth the asking price, which would be $30? And I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Now, for anyone that buys these, you do, like I said earlier in this video, you have a bunch of features. You have app support, ANC, you have the stay aware mode built into these buds, you have multi-point, you do have the IP55, I believe it was, for the water sweat resistance. So you have everything that's necessary for the buds to work. Now, if you go on Amazon and you type in Soundcore by Anchor and they happen to have a sale, yeah, those technically are better buds overall, but this is $29.99 regular price. So as you already know, when they do go and sell online, it's probably going to be even cheaper than what it is. And if you happen to walk into, I'm assuming Target or somebody probably sells these, it's probably not just online on the JLab website. JLabs tend to be at Target and Walmart and things like that. It's not bad for $30. You have the USB-C cable here that's built in and plugged in. If you have a dongle, you can go ahead and snap that in and turn it to USB-A. But for the most part, everyone's using fast charging, so this connector is perfectly fine. You do have a pretty long battery life, 7 hours without ANC, 6 hours with ANC. You're getting a total of 24 hours in terms of battery life, a little bit less if you have ANC on. But outside of that, it has everything. Like, what really more do you want out of an earbud? And of course, it does come with different colors. Now, keep in mind with JLab, you heard the sound profile, not the sound profile, but the voice profile and things like that. And it might be a little bit lackluster to someone that is a more of a professional. But for everyone else, hey, listen, $30 does not break the bank. You can get them a little bit cheaper online. I will have a link for anyone that's interested in this. And no, I don't make any money from the link. But outside of that, I do like the buds, and I think that they're pretty good. And, you know, JLab just surprises me. I forgot they actually made earbuds for a while. I've been buying their keyboards and mouses and things like that, and I haven't been focusing on the earbuds. And the fact that I found this at my local pawn shop, didn't even know that they were out. And I'm pleasantly, surprised of how good that they actually turned out. So yes, get them. Anyway, like and subscribe. Like always, guys, I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Peace.